In today's final touch, even without the use of a chimney, Santa Claus managed to deliver Christmas treats to well-behaved fish and sharks in a huge fish tank in Malta's National Aquarium.
Wearing a breathing apparatus over his usual red suit, his usual ho-ho-ho was replaced in the form of bubbles. Zebra sharks, who must have been very good this year, got extra special treatment from Santa as they gobbled up their food. Father Christmas didn't hand out any presents, though. The aquarium fish will just have to wait until Christmas Day like everyone else.
Little preview, though. That would be very cool to go into an aquarium tank like that with a bunch of exotic fish.
Thank you for watching, everybody. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now. And right now at 5, we're learning more details tonight about the former Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy accused of burglarizing homes. We'll tell you who she targeted.
As workers tear down one of Janesville's most historic buildings, find out why the city says it had to go.
The voters have the right to be informed about what they're voting on.
Plus, a group files suit saying you aren't getting enough information on an amendment change on your ballot.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us tonight at 5. The focus turns to the Senate now that the House of Representatives has impeached President Trump.
Next, the Senate will hold a trial to decide if the president should be removed from office. That's an unlikely scenario, though, given the makeup of the Senate. Democratic and Republican senators differ on how this trial should even be conducted. Republicans want it to be quick. Democrats want more witnesses and testimony. Before any of that even begins, though, the Senate must get the 2 articles of impeachment from the House approved on Wednesday night. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has not made it clear when that will happen.
Next thing for us will be when we see the process that is set forth in the Senate, then we'll know the number of managers that we may have to go forward.
It doesn't feel like impeachment. And you know what? It's a phony deal. And they cheapen the word impeachment. It's an ugly word, but they cheapen the word impeachment.
The Senate trial had been expected to start in early January, but the timeline may not be clear until the House actually delivers the articles. President Trump is the 3rd U.S. president in history to be impeached.
The former Jefferson County Sheriff's deputy charged with burglary is accused of engaging in a scheme targeting the homes of people that were gone attending funerals.
As Madeline O'Neill can tell us now, we know what that includes the family of late Lake Mills fire captain Chris Truman. Maddie?
Well, you'll likely remember Truman. He died last New Year's Eve, hit by a car helping a woman on the side of the Beltline. Details in court documents and property records connect one incident to his home during his funeral. A criminal complaint alleges that former Sheriff's Deputy Janelle Garricky was found standing on the front porch of a home belonging to a, quote, deceased Lake Mills municipal employee between January 5th and 6th. Those are the days family and friends publicly paid respect to Truman. Garricky is accused of 7 incidents, many occurring when it was known that homeowners would be away attending the funeral of a loved one. After Garricky raised some suspicions, special agents from the Wisconsin Department of Justice set up a surveillance operation this past June, knowing funeral services were publicly scheduled. On that day, agents say the defendant tried to enter the home of a family member of the deceased. Now, those are just some of the alleged incidents between February of 2018 and June of 2019, including the one in Fort Atkinson, resulting in the burglary charge. Garricky was fired from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office on July 3rd. She'll make a court appearance on Monday.
And certainly something we will continue to follow.
Absolutely.
Maddie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline. A former Madison police officer was arrested for repeated sexual assault of a child enticement and misconduct in public office. Law enforcement officials in Florida took 56-year-old Morris Reed into custody yesterday. Police said a Madison woman contacted the Madison Police Department in July to report a series of crimes involving Reed that began in 2009 resign when he was still a Madison police officer. Police say the victim, who was 15 at the time, was enticed into a sexual relationship with Reed that lasted for several years. Police said they were unaware of the crimes until the victim came forward this year. In 2012, Reed was investigated for a series of allegations, including mishandling evidence, and he chose to resign. Reed has lived in Florida since 2017.
Switching gears now, the warmer temperatures are here and looks like they'll be sticking around for a while. Let's get a look at that first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti on the weather patio. Thank goodness for those Christmas lights, Gary. Otherwise, we wouldn't know what time of year it was.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Danica. There's no snow around here to make it seem like Christmas, and there won't be any before Christmas itself. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. There's snow on the ground across Illinois. Of course, there's snow on the ground up to our north, but southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, pretty much free of snow on the ground right now. High temperatures today made it back into the middle 30s, so that was about a 15-degree temperature jump over yesterday. And right now, temperatures are still in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Look for those temperatures to drop into the middle 20s by early tomorrow morning, and then we'll see another mild day tomorrow. The high temperature topping out around 40 will be in the mid to upper 40s by early next week. I'll have the forecast as we head toward the Christmas holiday in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Gary. Looking forward to that. The man police believe helped a suspect escape a Madison homicide scene over the weekend is now in custody. 18-year-old Brandon Hernandez is tentatively charged with harboring and aiding a felon. Police say he drove Marcus Hamilton away from the 1000 block of Spruce Street on Saturday afternoon. Hamilton is being held in jail on a $1 million cash bail. He's accused of shooting and killing an 18-year-old Dodgeville man in the city's third homicide of the year.
A Madison massage therapist accused of inappropriately touching a female client now faces 5 counts of 4th-degree sexual assault. Jared Huffman was originally arrested in September on one charge for allegedly touching that client in a sexual manner without her consent. The incident reportedly happened the month prior at a massage therapy business on Odana Road. Police say once Huffman was arrested, several other women came forward saying that they were victimized in similar ways.
3 students are in custody tonight accused of writing a threat in a bathroom stall. Authorities in Wood County say an 18-year-old and 2 17-year-old boys are responsible for a, quote, specific threat that was found in a restroom at Marshfield High School on Tuesday. Now, classes did resume yesterday, but school district officials say the threats were made to close down the school and disrupt classes.
Workers are slowly starting to tear down a building in the heart of downtown Janesville.
The city claims the owner wouldn't make necessary improvements. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with so many people being upset about this. Adam, what can you tell us?
Well, Danica and Susan, for context, the building at 13 North Main Street in downtown Janesville was built 8 years before the start of the Civil War, but the lead up to its tear down has been anything but civil. Since Monday, a small team of workers have been taking apart this downtown building piece by piece. Its location not ideal for a demolition, directly between 2 other buildings. But the city's building director said it had to go.
Floors were missing. There were big holes in the floor on the first floor. I did not go up to the second floor ever because it just was a safety issue.
But in a city full of history,
I'm sad that preservation didn't ever come to the forefront.
some are upset there wasn't more of a push to fix the place up.
It is a 166-year-old building, original to a block. It's a unique-looking building, and it speaks for the early history of Janesville.
The building's owner, Bruce Monson, says he tried to work with the city to make improvements to the space that's been vacant for decades. But ultimately, it wasn't enough.
The situation in the building, the building continued to deteriorate to a point that it became a safety issue for the community.
And as it comes down board by board, others are wondering what part of history could possibly be next.
People in the future need something to tell them what was here before them. And it speaks, we need the older properties to speak for that history.
City Building Director Tom Klippert told me that getting to this point is something the city obviously would rather not do. But at this point, they don't have any plans for what could possibly fill this space when demolition is done.
All right, Adam Duxer reporting from the Janesville Gazette Bureau. Thank you so much, Adam.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers called a meeting on homelessness today, but Republicans didn't show. The governor wanted the legislature's Republican-controlled budget committee to release $3.7 million in funding to fight homelessness in Wisconsin. The governor invoked a power rarely, if ever, used by governors to call the legislative committee into session to deal with a specific type of funding request. But the Republicans declined the invitation.
A new report says Wisconsin school districts are fueling the largest annual increase in property taxes in the last decade. The Wisconsin Policy Forum analyzed data from the State Department of Revenue and found school districts are levying about $5 billion in taxes this year. That's a 4.5% increase from last year and the largest annual increase since 2009. A government watchdog group is filing a lawsuit hoping to block a question on your ballot next spring. The Wisconsin Justice Initiative held a press conference at the Capitol today, voicing their opposition to what's known as Marsy's Law. Those laws have been passed in multiple states, and they're aimed at protecting and expanding the rights victims have during the criminal justice process. The state is set to include a question about a proposed constitutional amendment here in Wisconsin next year. But the Wisconsin Justice Initiative claims the question does not adequately explain the changes, which could affect someone's right to a fair trial.
Because it presupposes that a crime with an actual real victim occurred, when that is often the very issue that has to be decided later at a trial by a court or a jury.
So that was Jerry Buting, who you may recognize as one of Stephen Avery and Brandon Dassey's attorneys on the popular Netflix series Making a Murderer. He's also a plaintiff in this suit, saying Marsy's Law, quote, turns the presumption of innocence on its head.
The amendment passed both the Senate and the Assembly in bipartisan votes earlier this year. Many protections for victims exist already, but it would give victims the right to be heard at plea, parole, and revocation proceedings, among other rights. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said he believes the amendment that made it through struck a good balance in keeping justice for all parties involved.
I certainly am a very strong proponent of the Fourth Amendment, so I don't want to allow the system to trample on the rights of those who are accused. But I also think there is a fine balance that was struck, and adequately so, in the law, which allows for us to protect the rights of the accused while also making sure the victim has a say in the proceedings as well.
Vos said ultimately the decision rests with the voters. The amendment's ratification is set to be on the ballot statewide on April 7th. It is a big night for Badger volleyball. The team, they're facing the #1 seeded Baylor Bears tonight in Pittsburgh. The game will be on ESPN. It starts at 6 o'clock, and the winner tonight will have a spot in the NCAA championship game. They'll face the winner of Minnesota and Stanford.
Very exciting. If you are headed to the Fieldhouse tonight to watch Wisconsin wrestling, don't forget to bring a pack of socks. During the intermission of the Wisconsin-Kent State match, fans will throw socks out onto the mat, and all of them will be donated to the Lucier Community Education Center right here in Madison. The duel with Kent State starts at 7 p.m., and of course, we'll have the highlights of that coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
First-year engineers at UW-Madison designed a cart for Louie, a dog born without its front legs. Louie's owners say he was born to a breeder in Atlanta who planned to euthanize him, so they decided to take him in. They had a stable cart for Louie, but it didn't suit him, so the UW-Madison Engineering Department redesigned it. They removed half of the court and adjusted it, half of the cart, excuse me, not court, yeah, cart, thank you, Dennis. And they added small wheels for stability and some extra padding. The owners say Louie is still getting used to the cart and will walk in it with some guiding and dog treat encouragement.
That's pretty neat there.
Those engineering students are amazing.
Yeah, definitely. There's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. The new trade deal with Mexico and Canada has passed in the House. We will have reaction and the impact for businesses.
And then coming up tonight at 6, UW hospital nurses are asking company leaders to recognize them as a union, why they say this is a patient safety issue.
And a quick look at stocks this evening. Dow is up 138 points. NASDAQ is up 59, and the S&P 500 is up 14. We'll be right back.
One day after a bitterly divided House voted to impeach President Trump, the chamber came together and passed the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement.
Democrats have been working behind closed doors with negotiators to add more enforcement mechanisms and labor protection to what's known as the USMCA, which replaces NAFTA as the governing document on trade between the three nations. The new agreement contains a new chapter on digital trade and aims to boost market access and standards for small business and agriculture.
They have some sense of what the future looks like. They can worry a lot less about Washington and what the rules of the road are going to be, and worry about how they grow their business.
Big distance between what the administration was proposing to begin with in all of those areas and to where we ended up.
So next, it heads to the Senate, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said it is unlikely he would take up USMCA until the impeachment trial is over.
7 of the 15 Democratic candidates for president will take the stage tonight at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Tom Steyer, and Andrew Yang will participate. While the Democrats preach diversity for the first time in this election cycle, the debate won't feature a Black or Latino candidate.
That seems to still violate the democratic ideal that these candidates can go and make their case in these early contests and see what happens. They don't even get to election day anymore.
A CBS News Battle Tracker poll shows although Democratic voters overwhelmingly support impeachment, they want to hear more about the candidates' plans to beat President Trump.
Let's send it over now to Gary Canalti with a look at that first alert forecast. Gary, we're all saying it might be shorts weather by the weekend.
Almost. You know, Susan was mentioning earlier that it seemed like it was so warm today. Temperatures actually were in the mid-30s. I mean, just a few degrees above average, but it was very cold yesterday, and that's why it felt warmer. But those temperatures will continue to go up. And as you see on Doppler track, no snow anywhere around the upper Midwest, and the snow depth across the Midwest, of course, most of it is in Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, back into the eastern Dakotas and the UP of Michigan. Some areas still with over 2 feet of snow on the ground up near Lake Superior, and then a swath of some heavier snow from just east of St. Louis through Indianapolis, about a half a foot there. That snow is starting to melt, and a lot of this may be gone by the time Christmas rolls around. Of course, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, free of snow, and that's not going to change. In fact, as we take a look at temperatures so far this month, we started out warm. We had a couple of pretty cold days in there, the 10th and the 11th, and then the 15th, and then yesterday was just, you know, a cold day. But notice the cold snaps, they haven't been very long. You know, a couple of days, and then all of a sudden those temperatures warm up. So you average everything together. So far, we're at 1 degree above normal for the month, but that will change because pretty much through the end of the month, every day is expected to be well above normal. In fact, high temperatures over the next 10 days. The average high goes from 29 to 27 by the weekend between Christmas and New Year's, and you can see those temperatures every single day above average, and many days by a significant amount. 43 on Saturday, 46 on Sunday, 47 on Monday, and 45 on Christmas Eve. That's way above normal. So the 40s start tomorrow, last through Christmas, dry through Christmas Eve. The next chance of rain will be Christmas Day afternoon, and even then, just a slight chance for some light rain showers. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the 25th through the 29th of December, a 75% chance of above normal temperatures in Madison. That's very high for an outlook period. Precipitation expected to be above normal as the storm track starts to develop. Most of this will be in that end of the weekend around the 29th, where we could see a fairly significant storm system in the nation's midsection. But even into the first couple of days of the new year, temperatures expected to be above normal for the eastern 2/3 of the country, and precipitation expected to be above normal as the storm system comes through toward the end of next weekend and then perhaps early in the new year. But the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison, just cloudy skies, that's thin overcast though right now. High today 34, the low 16, so above normal temperatures, but not by a lot. We averaged 4 degrees above average for today, and right now we're at 28 degrees. Winds are out of the east at 3 miles per hour, so really not much of a wind chill to speak of. Temperatures right now are still in the teens in northern Wisconsin, mid-20s to lower 30s here in southern Wisconsin, but those temperatures will continue to go up over the next few days. And as we look at our future track for tonight, 24 for the overnight low temperature with variably cloudy skies. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, so we'll call it variably cloudy as well, with a high temperature of 40 degrees. On future track, those temperatures drop off into the mid-20s by tomorrow morning. High temperatures get back up to around 40 for tomorrow afternoon. Back to the upper 20s for tomorrow night, and notice that climbing temperatures on Saturday into the lower 40s, and they just continue to go up from there. 46 on Sunday, 47 on Monday, a 45 for Christmas Eve Tuesday and Christmas Day Wednesday, maybe a rain shower in the afternoon, high still at 42. Even though those temperatures drop a little bit toward the end of next week, they're still well above normal. The storm system we'll watch is on Sunday of next weekend. Starts with a mix of rain and snow, changes to rain, but that could change back to snow on Sunday night. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, the view from the Beltline at Park Street, a slowdown in the eastbound direction, looks like a stalled truck in the left-hand shoulder there. Right now, we're seeing delays on the eastbound Beltline from Monona Drive through that stalled vehicle all the way back to almost Whitney Way. So a very slow commute in the eastbound direction, a 41-minute commute right now from University Avenue to I-3990, 26 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, it's 25 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 17 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Thank you, Gary. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, a new study is showing an alarming prediction about obesity in the United States. We'll explain after the break. A warning for all of us. If our lifestyle habits don't change soon, the country will hit an unprecedented level of obesity in the next decade.
Britt Conway has more in today's Health Minute.
It's an alarming prediction. Within 10 years, more than half of all Americans will be obese, and 1 in 4 will be considered severely obese, meaning they'll be more than 100 pounds overweight. Now, these projections, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, were based on data from more than 6 million U.S. adults. And the study found that the South and the Midwest will be the hardest hit, but no state will be spared. The lead author says severe obesity will become the most common BMI category. The consequences could have a devastating impact on the U.S. healthcare system. Interventions on the local and national levels, though, could help reverse that trend. Taxing sugar-sweetened beverages is one way to address the problem. Experts say drinks like that are one of the main contributors to the country's weight problem. Promoting farm-to-school and farm-to-work programs that boost access to locally grown fruits and veggies could also help, along with calorie labeling on menus. But because of how difficult obesity is to treat, the study stresses that prevention is the only way to slow the epidemic. For today's Health Minute, I'm Britt Conway.
Stay with us. We'll have a final check of the weather when we come back.
We are dry and warm for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, temperatures be around 40 for tomorrow. Right now, our high temperature today, 34, and right now we're at 28 degrees, but those temperatures will climb into the upper 30s, lower 40s for tomorrow, low 40s Saturday, mid to upper 40s for Sunday, Monday, and mid 40s for Christmas Eve, Tuesday. Even Christmas Day will be a high of 42, but some rain showers in the afternoon.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll see you back here for News 3 Now at 6.